Because journalism is based on facts. If I say Mxolisi is raped, even Mxolisi is we will try to see. If Mxolisi is raped and I got these facts and I lay them bare, then there's nothing better than that. What's wrong with him? I'm saying child propaganda against Mxolisi. Need to Mxolisi will repeal. Must have proof to Mxolisi will repeal. And then me now I choose which when I decide to okay now I'm going full time into journalism, like I've decided now.
Makwachini litshona njani masoraseni abaziphela abanye ngathi masoraseli azelimbuzo ukuthi kuyimkhono ilanguage yakithi eZimbabwe. Mina sengibuyile futhi kodwa njenge enjoyela ngihambi ngedwa ngihamba lo mfowethu laphana mina lami ibizo nginguJoyful mfowethu ngibingelela abantu
baba salibonani emakhaya linjani sibile njalo ipodcast yabantu ngesiqephu njalo sichisayo esivuta amalanga abo siyabhebha lesi siqephu lesi siyabhebha sithola sindebele
kuyabhebha
ngqonqe kuvuta amalanga right isiqosa sejwani lesi MC Shaba mawuthanda ukuba kunale ematholotshweni thina sitemba inkani
ngiyalazi
sengamthatha napha ungabe indaba zamuntu
podcast live
and direct mafungibona ukuthi asizwakala kodwa ke namhlanje sihambi ngabo ubutholotho bami sazoba mnandi lesisiqephu njalo sepodcast yabantu siyajabula kakhulu mawungasubscribe angasithulindele because imule eningi sigijime ya subscribe yathi ngeke sikhudwe lesi siqephu zonke lezi siqephu zepodcast yabantu ezibuyayo hambe pressa usubscribe lapha ku YouTube kule bhera futhi lana nje yana esasifa ukuja mluthi lapho plans emakhaya ufika ucofe khona phana ibhera lani ithi ukuthi wena kungaba le content entsha we video entsha sabe siyifakile khona phana producer bebelotile kethi mqwi ukutshela gijima ungakhutheki indaba zakithi zimnandi lapho esihlangana khona nosaziwayo labakithi we touch social issues different issues ngeke nisiconfirm abacandi bazasiconfirm
mawulindi ukuthi siyaba umsindo siyasithanda
exactly
sibizi
wethu ukupheka sibhake sifake laphana libe selisidla odlayo yathi ukuthi imboza kumbe kumnandi ovula avungula omunye ekhafule esayidini ngoba kuphekwa umuntu omthandayo thina siyipodcast yabantu sithi sibambe kanjalo sithela umuthi
asibone khona phana njengoba sitshila ukuthi sizobuya labantu aba different sixoxe ingxoxo ezi different namhlanje siphethe omunye futhi osaziwayo abanye bayamazi ngonithi abanye bayamazi abanye abamazi sisho njalo isindebele kodwa abaningi
abanye bayambona abanye bafisa ukumbona
izomkhumbula uthi yena he speaks with is it the voice of an angel or with an authority of an angel angwazi khona phana ngiqondisa authority of an angel mfowethu kunjani
authority of an angel njani futhi
uzasitshela
uzothi ngoba umfundisi
uzasitshela
ngeke madoda
kunjani mfowethu
hayi ngiziphilile
asibonge siyabonga ukuthi usivakatshele isikhathini esiningi ukuhlala labantu abalolwazi oluningi ngesizwe sakithi kanje kunzima sibathole kodwa masimtholile kanje siyajabula sithemba abahlali ababukeli abantu abanikazi be-podcast bazokholisa vele sihlala endabeni njengoba vele ngifuna ukuthi singakayi egameni lakho speaking with the authority of an angel usuku sithini lapha
ndoda nxa ikhuluma mina qala khwehle
bathi yabiza khuluma iqiniso yena yabiza khuluma into elesi
akuyadependa perception lapha ngiyasuke sithi mina ngikutsho mangikhuluma kakhulu ngeZimbabwe politics ngiyabe sithi ukuthi ungambona sensiyo declare into kulezi izinto ezikhuluma ngizicabanga kube lokunye ngithi senze i-declaration enjalo ukuthi ngithi mina screenshot this umbuzo ngakho umbuzo ongihleka lapho ngiyabenza sithi hayi
awusukule inside info yini ukwenza ukuthi ukhulume with that authority
kukabili ngenature yomsebenzi wami sengasuka ngibe nama sources and ama sources ami ngiyatrust kakhulu ngoba akazandlahlise kube sokusibala lokho yana ukuthi kuthiwa nxa usuke wayihamba indlela you can tell ukuthi ungabona iyezi leli selisuka lapha
ziyanetha
kuphela
igama Mxolisi sibonga koNcube abantu bakoNcube vele ba special ezobona namuhla ukuthi
okay
so ezalwa ekhulele ngapi uMxolisi
uMxolisi ngokuzalwa uzalwa kwesiphepha
usakhuluma futhi usathi Ncube wangisuqala ukunwa ikhanda
wathi ugcwele wabetholo nje ku podcast
hayi yiko omapressa labo zinja la yonke imuli yetsholotsho isitsholotsho yizwe uNkulunkulu wadala itsholotsho wasedala izingwe
qhubeka
so ngazalelwa etsholotsho ngasuka etsholotsho ngine 2 years ngaqala ukubhodilizwa
yebo
ngaqala isikolo sami eMguza isikolo kuthiwa iKlevaYeRasta primary
ekusi
iKlevaYeRasta
okay
kwaba
ungabe ulwazi ukuthi iKlevaYeRasta kusho ukuthi
hayi angikwazi
kuna isikole semathebeleni
sisemathebeleni
ukuthi isihlobani
angikwazi
iKlevaYeRasta
wakhona usesintwini kumbuze
IG
sakho IG U S I then
not iKlevaYeRasta but by pronounce iKlevaYeRasta
yes
qhubeka
so after
primary school
ngisangaqala nje vele isikolo that was in 1982 isikolo zavala ngenxa yokurawundisa chiya umuzi khona sakwaleka
you are also a victim of ground
no I saw it a bit but I wasn't
what exactly did you see
yami okwanzisa ubuhlungu kakhulu ukuthi ngabona umama wami bemchaya ngomgigo ewela phansi ubaba omncane obethethe uba umnawa ka stepfather wami
okay
obethethe umama omncane wami ongumnawa ke kamama babuya bemqhuma indlebe zombili bamthatha bahamba laye
so abantu abathi befika wona ukhona
so imake okwenzakala ukuthi
ngabantu abanjani la can you still remember
yeah I remember very well because lapho bese endaweni okuthiwa kusesawmills
okay
isawmills is the nearest shopping center but nabehlala endaweni okuthiwa kuseBuda it's a resettlement area so what happened is amaphuma la ayesanisa vele
babehamba amaphuma
yes in groups so babethi babanengi kakhulu begqoka amabhalisa red so I remember on that particular day I was around 6 years old so besithi nxa imoto lezi zidlula singabantwana we wave at them and then sabe sketch mood banga wave back we become settled uthi hayi mhlawumbe namhlanje so that
lemfundiso ngobani
uyisile sidlala labafana abanyangase bakhudla esazi lokho
wawuyisignal
lathi sibone ukuthi namhlanje
zishumuthi
so bengasignala back
yosibonke hayi which ukuthi because there were days when they would come be friendly abantwana there were days when they would come vele
abantwana babengabale manje
hayi ngaqamba amangaza ngibona so that particular day besiseduzana nomgwaqo nje omkhulu they were in the direction of a place okuthiwa kuse St Peter's behamba iphuma le so wave gibo they didn't respond then we realized ukuthi no bathwele umuntu then one of the guys obemdala kulathi lapho who happened to be umkhazi ka stepfather said bathwele ukhazi uRoger is my ubaba omncane wami
okay
so badlula la bathe mabejika abathatha ngasikhathi vela besekade babemdingisa ukuthi ungakuphi I think they beaten him up to a point of confusion maybe wayekwenza deliberately ukuthi asave abantu bakibo why se confused so badlula bajika within a space of a few minutes bafika bathi abantwana mina basithola sisendlini yabo bese bangedlula silesigijima siyekhaya so basithola sisekhaya biko lapha bangena khona ngakithi bafika bachawo kumuntu nje presently
abechayelwana abantu bakhona kwakulesizathu yini ababesikhulu
so labo on that particular day babechayela ukuthi bagcibe distance so
lalo ngubani
ubaba omncane
okay
so bachawo umama
bamncane nawe distance she was just
kuba omncane was an ex-zipra owathi ngesikhathi sedimo lapho wachiya
wena zange integrate
wachiya wasebenza railways as a general handler so bamlanda emsebenzini because these guys apparently babedinga wonke umuntu was ex-zipra so bafika bamthatha lapho bathi uli distinct so bachawo mama ngomgigo ubephuma endlini bamchaya ngomgigo ekhanda la wawa phansi kulo mama umnye esithwele ngaleso sikhathi wayengusisi nje sanda kaphuma esikoleni bakamithe sesikole so uthema babe besithi bacela amanzi uthema ebalanda ithwela amanzi ukuthi baphuze bamkhaba walahla this bucket ayithwele amanzi bemkhabisiso wayawela lapha so sathathwa thina abantwana bathiwa siyobuthelela kwenye indawo lapho sasigcine khona by some sister nje I think she was around 15 by then owayegogekile akwazi ukuhamba inyawo zakhe zombili azigogeke but we could see because i-resettlement kuvulekile
yes
so phambi kwangakithi nje kwawulesihlahla esikhulu secithamusi ezinye zazigamula kwapho bethwela amabhayinethi begamula isigodo kusibanje ngamahlamvu ngapha vele umuntu echaya bezitshaya kakhulu so bachaya abantu kakhulu lapha yikho sathi sidlula nje khona lapho sabona ubaba omncane indlebe zonke ngekho basebemgolise i-combat top iganyani kuze lapho bathi sebimnyama vele ukuthi babonise lesikhathi then isitema sijika sibehambile kwasokumnyama lapho samthola ukuthi akasekho. I remember the other day after some maybe 3 days or 2 days ngihlala lo mna wami because wayengedwa wayesebenza ekhaya was the breadwinner sibesizazi izikhathi zakhe zokubuya nxa ilanga siyatshona ngithi so we were acting ngi-acta mina nginguye lapho sithi sembuyile watwati balufunani kubhathele lokhu lalokho then umama omncane obemthethe because belesithembu so belo umama omncane wami omnake kamama belali lo omunye umama omncane futhi omunye ayimthethe angazi ukuthi wayimthethe ngaphi she called me wandihlalisa phansi. I was around 6 years old wathi ubaba omncane wakho I don't think ukuthi sizaphinda simbona. Then I remember mama omncane sebethwala impahla zabo after some time behamba and umna wami lo omunye owayemzele laye wawuthiwa ngoNhlanhla we never saw her again. Okhona wazalwa ngumama who happened to be his firstborn ongumfana khona esekhaya.
All right. So lapana ubusaqhubeka ukuthini wafunde
iAgusi ngifunde maybe first term isikolo zavala then ngase siya lapho ukwenza ngalesigigaba lesi bese ngifunde isikolo kuthiwa useBuddha primary. Lapho ngifunde khona
wayikho lapho ukwenza khona yonke into manje yazi Jofi bengifisa ukuthi before udlule it's so sad ukuthi each and every time you sit here somehow has got a story to tell about IklevaYeRasta. And now podcast so it's all these issues that we are here to tackle. But I feel these are the wounds that our country is suffering. And several times, I don't know from here now, he's a person that have seen it all and very little somebody. I think we will get there of where you're still asking about Imbalad. But I wish before we close this part that you talked about, it's a sad history. And I wish and it is my wish, and I think for the only way our country can strive in any aspect, it needs to heal these wounds. Absolutely. And I don't know if we've handled it better or it's being handled better with current people that are handling it, or is there a way forward to address this issue, or as a person, what does he think? What exactly does our nation need to resolve this?
I-challenge bantu bakithi ukuthi asivunyelwa ukuxoxa ngeground. I'll tell you why ngisho njalo. Sigcina singasakwazi ukuthi wayenzakalani kwangayenzakalini yini wrong lokuthi right now as you said kumele sihile kule nye generation engakwazi ukuthi kumele ihile from one.
Exactly.
So until these stories sezixoxiwe I think yikho lapha esizobakwazi khona njengoba usutshilo deep kancane endabeni nalana eground.
What can he tell the people in authority or him as a person? What do you think we need to do, Tina, as a people? To close this chapter, just like countries like Rwanda, they did. I believe they managed to resolve, or they are still resolving.
I think what worked for Rwanda, the person who is in charge now, or who came into charge before or after whom Gwabale healing was from the tribe that was massacred.
Okay.
It's like TRC in South Africa.
Yes.
It wouldn't happen under a government yamabhunu. So right now as Zimbabwe, what is there is it's now become, I think because of the time, it's become multi-layered. Because and the problem it's not only who government it's also like it ama victims. Because kulama victims, I mean kula people from the victimized section of the population who are now trying to suppress it because they're now benefiting from the status quo. There are people, yes, there are people also who want to use this, what piggybacking on the unresolved Kukurahundi issue to gain or to retain and gain a political capital. So Gibo abafuni to resolve it because in a resolver, then there is nothing more that they can stand. And then the main problem is the government that we have. They've never been sincere about this thing. They've never even shown what they are remorseful about it because Ncube died blaming Amandebele no Dumiso Tabeng for Ikukurahundi. Yet he had said it was a moment of madness at some point.
But how was he saying this to?
You said Utabenga, you would remember Utabenga was an intelligence person in Zipra. And Utabenga was arrested for trying to initiate a coup. Look out, Maso.
Okay.
So Ncube still had that anger against Utabenga. Fortunately enough, I was very close to Mr. Utabenga. That's why most of the time, even on Facebook, I become too emotional because I know a lot of things that guy took to the grave. Because Utabenga was not this kind of a person because of his background, as an intelligent person. Also, so Ncube died blaming Amandebele le Zipra.
But how did he blame the victims now for being killed? Did the coup that you are talking about, did it actually happen? Did he try to do a coup in Utabenga?
According to what he says here, these were all cooked up things. Because Izanu wanted to use every form of should I say, they wanted to create an atmosphere whereby they would crush Izapu because they believed in one party state from the start. So Izapu had won Ematevelele. And they used Ikukurahundi first to get back at Zapu and to crush his support Zapu Ematevelele. But now, one thing that we must also says Kuma politics now. Sikhala package Ikukurahundi, one as a tribal thing, the other as a political thing. Because let me say this: when it first started, the motive was political because they wanted to crush Zapu. When the first person was killed, it became a murder case. When 100 people were killed, it became mass murder. When 20,000 people were killed, it became a genocide. So there is no other way to classify a genocide than calling it a genocide. A crime against humanity. And it now assumes a bigger level of criminality, which cannot be bottled to a political party, which cannot be kept at a tribe. Of course, a tribe can come in because the very fact that a tribe was targeted for being that particular tribe makes it complete as a genocide. Because if you target a people because of a race or because of their tribe or because of religion, you are committing a genocide already. So it completes the definition of a genocide. But let us stop in our tribal issues because this should be an international human rights issue which appeals to even Shona or Tonga.
We have on our people that we not your full blame and say because of this massacre we now hate Shonas, all Shonas. Just wouldn't be Shona because of this Kukurahundi issue. We now have got to hate that person. Is that justified, or we need these people also in resolving this issue?
This is where I'm saying we have created layers amaninga.
Yes.
I'll give an example. Umnangagwa is not sincere. I'm trying to tackle Kukurahundi. Nobody in ZRP will ever be sincere. But we missed an opportunity when they sent EPRC, ukuthi ihambe igather evidence. We knew that what they wanted to do with the evidence, which meant we were a step ahead of them.
Yes.
Instead of going around disrupting this evidence gathering process, we should have created our own structure which was going to mirror these people.
Okay.
Record this evidence. If we had suspected they were coached to do these things, we take our contacts we follow them up, we record them for our own use. At some point when these people are gone, both the perpetrator and the victims, because many of them are gone, parents are gone, some of the victims, they are gone. There will be a time as what is Puma 50 years from now, and none of the victims will still be existing.
Absolutely true.
If any. So we should be having that as evidence. We should publish books about these things.
Enough evidence in the works of people like Ncube or Site. I think he has gathered a lot of info where he interviews victims.
Uzenzele is doing a great job, but the evidence will never be enough.
Okay.
For as long as this crime has not been paid for, it means investigations are continuing. So you may believe what he has done enough, but trust you me, there are people with even gorier details about this thing
than what we see.
That you will not get to. And these are people we could have gotten to. Using that opportunity, because because of time, but to get a tip off, but this person has got evidence. Even Zenzel was going to get people there to gather this evidence. But because people want to be seen, we're posturing politically.
So are you saying politicians mustn't touch this issue?
I am saying if politicians do touch this issue, they should go there with bona fide intent.
But how should we not be?
That is where
because everyone comes in now as if they care and want a solution towards this issue. Such as almost all political parties, they do that. But how do the citizens now know that these people are sincere, like what you are saying? How do they differentiate?
Now, it then becomes the duty of the citizens themselves to safeguard first evidence.
Okay.
And number two, to safeguard doctoring of evidence by both the perpetrator and especially politicians who want to gain leverage on this thing. Because this is not an issue but I'm seeing this thing being trivialized. Like you're saying, so umshono ozele ngo-2000 so umele athathe blame for ikukura into angazange ayibone. So it then builds a wall of defense for everyone wasemashonalend ukuthi athi vele angithi bathi sonke si-involve ukuthi abantu laba they want to use this thing to butcher us. So bebegcinela bengasatrust amandebele bengasatrust people from Matebeleni because bagcine sele defender in an attempt to defend themselves against the attack. So it should not be seen, like I said, as a Shona versus Ndebele issue. It should be seen as a serious human rights issue to which everyone who is concerned about human rights should have a stake and even a voice in how it should be resolved. And the resolution should not just be, okay, evidence, I say, let bygones be bygones. No, it should be reconciliation with justice. First, a victim-centered approach. As I would Mxolisi mina ngaluza okakuncane misale ngisithi hayi angisaphindi ngimbone kodwa la I believe lapha khona la umoya usunganjani sungaphumuli
khululekile
exactly.
But now in these 2 days I think, don't you think the inability for maybe the government of the day to resolve this issue also is forced to these issues of the relation and centered on IklevayeRasta. What is the role of abantu banamhlanje? What would you say towards this thing, tribalism? Because I don't think we can pretend as if it's not there, but we all know and the we have to this and that, and it's all centered on this. Senzeni now, people are not in power. We are all suffering. I can say you find Ndebelezi that are suffering also, and you also find Shonas that are suffering.
Yeah.
But we can't work together because of this white elephant, big elephant that is in the room. How do you suggest this issue can be suggested? Okay, in as much as this happened, siphatha njani singabantu? Umtshela kanjani umuntu owahlulelwayo, umuntu alahlelwa umzali wakhe njengawe? Umuntu umhlobo lo yebo umhlobo omunye. Kodwa lo muntu lo ayisuye umuntu wabulala babakho, o ayisuye ohamba nomzali wakho. How do you convince such a person ukuthi wena in as much as umuntu owathatha uba mncane why ngomhlobo lo kodwa lo ophambi kwakho akusinguye? How do you convince such a victim to understand ukuthi in as much as I understand ukuthi you are in pain? Remember these people, they're in pain. Like I believe ukuthi whenever you tell this story, it brings in sad memories to you.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it took for you to understand and differentiate ukuthi it's not every Shona. But in as much as I know ukuthi most of these people that were carrying out these things, they were Shonas.
I think the first way of us being able to resolve this among ourselves, with or without the current government, because we need each other to get rid of the current government. That is a fact. We need to first locate where this tribalism comes from. Because I believe Uti Kukura Wundi is one of the layers, but it's not the only layer.
There's more.
You know Uti Izabo split in 1963. It was centered on tribalism. Ikukura Wundi So Ikukura Wundi became an anticlimax of former tribal tensions that were already there. And tribalism, yes, Zimbabwe, is not only peculiar to Zimbabwe. Tribalism is everywhere in Africa. So for us to be able to look at tribalism as a problem affecting Zimbabwe, we need to locate the problem where it started. It was started by the colonialists. First, there was nothing called Shona. But because they wanted to attack Pullup, they first made sure that Shanganisa people were on the other side of the country. Then people, when they came up, they wrote on that because they were populists who knew they could not match Joshua Ngoma in terms of vision. Therefore, they need to divide and say, so that is where tribalism began. Like I said, Ikukura only came as a way of trying to crush IklevaYeRasta. And IklevaYeRasta happened to be a place called Matemeleland, which was numbered by people who were considered to be Ndebele. But if you look, these guys were targeting where ZRP specifically came from. They went to Tolojo. They went to Plant. They went to Case. They went to Manama. That's where they were targeting these people because they were paranoid as well. They thought, if these people want to fight back, this is where their bases are. But they ended up killing Omuto pregnant. Right. That is the first point about Ikukura. Then, about tribalism. The other point is, right now, do the people of Zimbabwe realize they need each other to get rid of ZANU-PF? Yes, they do. But are they prepared to unite tribally? I will tell you, right now, people are hungry. And when people are hungry, what is primary in their minds? You will tell Then now, so what do you want to buy? So when you are say Choloch, Ufunuya, what do you get in your child? Fagency. I always eat it to buy. What do you so, what to write for my so we are hungry. We're chasing the crown. When's the reason being, like you are saying, good winner, abantu abahamba bethatha ama-plus lawa, abantu abahamba bethatha ama-mines lawa, it's not every guy from Mashonaland. You have to be politically connected. You have to be powerful. You have to be able to bribe your way through. So these people are doing that because they are politically connected. They are able to bribe people. That's why, and they are a cartel. It's not good.
So are you moving tribe from this? Are you saying it's not also a factor?
I am saying
no, I'm just saying from the things that you counted.
It becomes a small factor. How? Because you will find ukuthi ama mines aseKwekwe ase emanika lapho kule diamond leliyana ase Nyathi owned yibona abantu singamashona abangamashona. They are owned by a group which is central, a cartel, you say, by the same cartel. So it's not like ukuthi amashona onke are benefiting from this. Yes, these people amashona, but they are a clique, a tile, which is joined together by partisanship, by greed, by imali abalayo ithole ngendlela ezithile, and by their desire to kill in order to get what they want. So that way is now understand. We will know what one Silwa the political party which unleashed this, not a tribe. Because I don't believe Utu Nangapa can be said to be guilty than innocent in terms of and I don't believe Utimina, some Shona guy was a park station in the Pana who is begging and is blind, is benefiting from Uchojo mine as a kid. So at the end of the day, the same political party which are the people who ground is the same political party which is plundering resources everywhere, making it appear as if one ground was a Shona thing, and number two, Uchojo mine is a Shona thing, so that we keep on divided in along the very Shona lines. Always listening are united to take them out.
Bahlali ngithemba ingqoqo nje sazobuya zibe khona ngoba kuningi lokho akushare kakhulu. Kuningi lokho akushare sazobuya kahle kahle silele ku ground special not ukuthi sizokhala but so
I think tackling political issues
looking for solutions like indlela kuya ngayo tekobukeleyo. We need to unite. We are not affiliated with any political party. Join our, but we need to unite. Unity before we join political parties is the thing. Asikubeke lapha siphume kule ground. Sesihamba sisiyaphambili. Besisakhuluma usuke eIgusi esikolo. Ukhona lapha ngizokuthi wazokaluma usematopo.
Yes.
Ufika nini ematopo?
Nguthe sengu grade 4. That was 1986 April. Wayezakala ukuthi imali ngishota lapha ekhaya bengihlala khona. And mina bengilizalizele lapha ekhaya.
Okay.
The brightest not only the children,
that was why
in the whole village, but in the whole school. I think it's more genetic than it's anything because
okay.
Then kwatholakala ukuthi mina angisaqhubekeli phambili ngesikolo kwathiwa sengisitotshwa khona lapho. Then umalume olandela umama. In fact, ugogo zalo mama. Wanthola ngikhona evele town. Kanti ukuhamba njani? In fact, wayesiya etown. Uhamba njani? No, mina nginamali uyesikolo wathi. Wahamba wa etown siyabona umalume olandela mama. Inhlanhla. Uthe mayijika wafika wamtshela. Uthe mayijika wafika wamtshela ukhulume noNhlanhla lapha ususiye eMatopo. And eMatopo lesikhathi vele it was like iKenan yithi ngali because amaqapho wazesasizwa ngawo sawabona all this stuff became happy. Then ngasengithathwa ke ngomama omncane wahamba lami wangisematopo 1996 isikolo kuthiwa iHalale Primary School lapho ngifike ngaqedisa ugrade 7 wami White Water Secondary School ngayenza i-secondary yami uEdgar who is the MP now and the Deputy Minister of Higher Education happened to be my headmaster eSikhala O-level.
Okay. Alright. And then sihamba sagijima isikhathi ngoba sisincane. Usugcina ususe esipholiseni uZRP. Ufike kanjani lapha?
I was an angry guy ngesikhathi ngikhula because of the treatment that I went through, especially ngihlala le family step parents. There are things that very few people know that I went through. Kule day lapho ngafunda ukubhukutsha mina emfuleni othiwa ngumgusa. Accident. Like I didn't have a brother. So and umntwana was considered an outsider here. They came one of the big guys wafika one door but nasasibhukutshela lapho ungajomi khona. And this guy was around 8 years old by then. One dad hlaba unkosi wangena lami lapho kutshona khona. Wamphosela khona. So uthe mayimphosela nganyathela phezulu kwakule ntwana. So then I get ukunyathela phezulu kwedwala. The next step was a sudden fall.
Yeah.
I don't know what ngasinga njani but ngazi wasenyathela kwelinye futhi idwala. Ngaphuma ngahlala lapha. Ngaziphumela. That's when I learned ukubhukutsha. Ngahlala lapha yana bathe beqeda yonke into nobody would care ukuthi kanti bayona. Ngahlala lapha akhala uyongenziwe. Then I made it a point ukuthi ngingedwa. I'm going there. If I'm dying there, I'll die there. I learned ukubhukutsha. So lezinye izinto ngeke ngizikhulume that I went through. Nawuthi nxa kuthiwa ukhutshezwa abantu, I was always the first guy.
Was it physical abuse?
Yeah, very, very physical.
So were you being violated now physically? My step-parents?
I would lie, my stepfather abused me, but he pretended I didn't exist.
In what way?
He would bypass me in conversations. Where is it?
What about providing for you? Taking care of you?
I can't blame him for failing to take care of me because we were servants.
Okay.
But
why is it I was struggling because I was
so the reason also that also constituted to
the anger.
To that anger, maybe
no, he would love Abantwana. I ended up chipping in as a servant. As a so he's somebody like very alert. Maybe like, but he has a man I don't want to but I'm a relatives working. And then what is a cool the guys area walk off very child until I became violent. I will tell you till the age of 9, saying I'm speaking and can't. So it helped me. The first day, I was very short but very strong and used to fighting. But figure out there is a so I scoring in second term. Abantu wasn't to have a school of now in newcomer.
Yes.
They gave me this name to hang way better than the chongo. How? I feel like I'm a tailor or to a woman and to one appear also they come out to Tibology. But it was not not in within a week. It comes in.
Yeah.
Hamba my school. I looked for the guy over in Korea.
Yeah.
I was very short when I was grade 4. When I was grade 1.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm very sisonke must check.
The criteria.
You will change it. German Chinese, I'm not saying coffee. You come in the second day school. Man fears as I feel like it. I'm telling you, the nothing did.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know very intense. As a color police, but so mean I was used to fighting and this guy is actually I was fighting with Amachita Makula. So I was used to this. I'm child of the law, but later as a monkey, Chamisa, I didn't have speed. What I can eat. And you cut an agit to tell a woman over His or Malay in a weekly of a so much I want to tell that Chinese police I was very angry before we get policy. Maybe ekukhuleni kwakho lapha ukukhula komuntu ungasho ukuthi kudetermine nge career yakhe athi siyenza because I think now you are saying maybe it can come to a point whereby if you look at the behavior of most police officers you can see these people are people that need healing, are people that are angry, are people that is some sort. It's like they want to revenge somehow.
Yes, they want to prove a point.
They want to prove a point.
Yeah.
because you see sometimes into the police or into intelligence. Do you think ubangelwa ikona ukuthi la khula njani? Laphathwa njani?
I think ukuthi ukhula ube yini depends. I believe ukuthi fine background esikhulela kiyo iyashape in a way, but there is something that ozalwa vele ulayo, which doesn't get out of you. Like I will tell you about myself. I'm talking about these things. Omunye umuntu bese ngabe sezikhohliwe bese challenge into abenza. Mina there are two things that I don't do, which I'm incapable of doing. Number one, I'm incapable of forgetting. I remember even the tiny finest detail. I can tell you with lapha was ngalinywa zomgoro wenje. Yes. Akusela muntu wasilo. So mina I'm incapable of forgetting and I'm incapable of forgiving. So these things as boom kimi zakufalazo. So ngitema siya join police initially ngafuna ukujoin army. Then there was a village awayelapho wayelisotsha. Wahlala lamphansi wathi ndoda wena kwakuyuzokuza qala uyiwe DRC wathi wena ngeanger olayo you'd die first line of the attack uzathi xa uphuma nje the first bullet will take you down. You need to heal from this. Then ngizakutshela ukuthi before yes police ngathola indawo ezi3 ezomsebenzi ngathola indawo ye-UCE United College of Education ngiyofundela primary school teacher. Ubaba omncane ubesebenza CNED manager ngathola indawo ukuthi yenze apprenticeship motor mechanics. Ngathola indawo esipolice. I chose this police. Because that background yami and le anger level ngiphethe. Vele and I was doing it to go back there and deal with these people. Then I went as policing. I think I'm a trainer. Things began to change for me because I saw love from others. In fact, I began to feel love. But because of this anger, I started to pull me apart. It shaped me into being a person who understands. Or what I learned because Sakhala lapha sibekulisa ngo-auntie kamama wami. Right? Owayikhulisa umama, ukhulisa nomalume lo wayesilethela. Yena ubengathola abantwana. Uyambona isithi mina ngumzukulu amalala ebhalweni. Umalala ebhalweni lo ube umkhulu obethethe uanti kamama. Uyabona? So these people bekulezi hlobo zakomfazi ko anti kamama, lezi hlobo zakobaba, eboba kobhuti bakabani. Baka mdala umalala ebhalweni. So they would mix up. It's basically 13 in a family. So about distant relatives song. But one thing that they instilled in us was a family unit.
That you know.
Yes.
Nga umncane ulami unawani. Akula ukuthi unizala ngubani unizala ngubani. And the way they treated us was bekudilwa nawe ngendlela oyenze ngayo. So you see abantu besithi wena tries to defend izano yona. It's because I deal with a case by case. I don't have this ekandala bebe ngithuka manje uthanda uJonathan Moyo. But isiphembe uJonathan Moyo yazakala wamntana asithelelana namanzi. Hayi amntana kodwa. Ngithanda ukubhala kwakhe angithandi as a person.
So how do you differentiate this?
This is what I'm saying.
Because mostly very I think ubhala into abhilivela kuzo. So kwenziwa kanjani ukuthi uma umuntu ebhala into abhilivela kuzo unokuza umntana? Yini ngakwenza uthanda
if ngingabhiliveli kuwe there are things that I cannot take away from you. If you are good at what you do.
Njengani yini yenza ukuthi uNathan Moyo ongamnika yona wena uthi le nto wayenza le yenza umntana?
uJonathan Moyo is a brilliant writer. I'm in love with brilliant writing. That's the first thing. I don't have to like what you're writing. I don't have to agree with you to know that you're a brilliant writer. I'm a Liverpool supporter. But I cannot take away the fact that De Bruyne knows how to play soccer.
We have any shot but akusikulu wasapoti Liverpool and Man City omele nyale ngithi ibhola kalazi.
But several times you've defended Jonathan Moyo. Several times I've attacked Jonathan Moyo. In fact, I've attacked Jonathan Moyo more than I've defended you. I've never defended you. The only time I can be said to have defended him was when he lost his daughter. And that was the time I was on or when I was considered to hate him. And I was made to believe Uti and I was the brains behind that because the guy who claimed Uti he outed to Babachuka was one of his boys. Yes.
Is it the current guy
that claimed to
He's
have
the same
notes,
guy. Yeah, he always claims to have deep.
You think he has got the notes?
No, he's always lying. If
That's
you
what
go to
he's
Facebook, ukuthi, no, into yokuqala umfana lwana waphakanyiswa kakhulu wathi is a computer wizard, which he's not.
Okay.
Wazothiwa umfana lwana is a journalist at least, and he's not.
Yeah.
So because in the it was cooked up, there was never any hacking. Whatever he hacked, the first thing that you do is, it means what you have bypassed the password.
Yes.
It's no longer working.
Yes.
And you put your own password.
Exactly.
You secure the account. You don't hack an account and then you say you have lost it.
No.
So that was all cooked up. If you number emails, they were all cooked up. And the funny part, since the funny part, they had emails whereby but these guys would chat even in broad daylight. They chat almost 24 hours a day to show me they were not together. By that time,
Yes, I remember.
we worked together.
Yes.
And we were inseparable. We were always together. There was no need for us to start chatting. WhatsApp, that was all bullshit.
I think basically people I want us to do justice in the way society. I think it's by God's grace that you survived your background.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of our people, they grew up under those circumstances. And some they don't even come out better out of it. They tend to be these menaces to society. And I don't know how you dealt with it when at the point you managed to become a better person. Why do you think kuba this nzondo uthotha umzala kusaphila oyi-1 bibekise umama in this aspect wakho wayesaphila? How did all these things happen ukuthi kuze kube nama-relatives ka-stepfather that are not taking abakuphatha kabi beku-abuser yena ekhona? Did she also play a role in trying to protect you as her son? Or uyabengakwazi ukuthi some people babengaboni ukuthi umntana uyahlukunyezwa phandle kwenu, but because ngihlalele umendi wami or umntana because ngibiyelayo maybe yikube emtreat njalo. Kungani most of the times you find laba abantwana bebaba buya nomzali betreatwa kabi in our society?
Mina owami umama, I would say first umama we rebel.
Okay.
She would not have taken that. And umama we Charles Banera. We allowed him to die. We support. But
you take after her.
Yeah.
But umama yena ubengakwazi yahlukunyezwa because bengahlukunyezwa phambi kwakhe ngoba esesatsho. Okay. Even emendweni umama besesatsho esesatshela umama zala. But yena kuye because besizwa kuphela sokubuya ama reports awumqozo uselimaza umntana ngobani akhele phezulu kwami ngosonto. And mina by that time I was alone. I didn't like ukukhuluma. Ngiqala ukukhuluma just recently. I was I was alone. No umuntu who is full of ego ngafuna ukukhuluma lamuntu. Wouldn't see the value in speaking to anybody else. So bekuya ke mafikelele phezulu kwami ngoswazi. Anchaye iswazi zibe zingu3 as a teacher aluchaye kuze ngivavule ngapha aluchibilekise. Because people would blame me and so it added to but I think you asked the question why I then didn't become this person who terrorized Yabantu. I don't know if I would say and terrorize Yabantu per se, but I think the circumstances I will talk about that.
I get it right.
Yeah, the circumstances that followed, I think in a way they changed me. Number one, like in number two, interesting join this police. Not join his own because I didn't forget. I still had revenge. To mate on these people. So I feel like the first thing I think I trained karate.
Police
Training karate. Then I became a best recruit. Okay, but maybe there is a future. Which I want to love as I told him savings. Then I Donington. I worked 2 years at Donington, La Payana. Started public relations, got transferred to him. He present public relations. Then I started concentrating life in Nandi. I remember my stepfather coming as I say, why 7 years president, philosophy. 9 years Then he came to Rose Camp to Rose Camp to report. He didn't even know why what the boys, but he didn't know. So if he didn't know, the boys are said 9 years and I so then he came there. Why am I central? He said a reporter who did a problem. What I know, this is a civil matter. Hamburg Rose Camp, the present public relations. Tell my figure I mean, for Nera Navatua, Nancy Kaisler.
What got that?
Telling him born 1 to 9 to 10 years. But I know this person. I don't tell her a and he didn't expect to see me there. When I heard this is my father. Guy gets shot. No, Ncube is like, what yourself is it? You must sit in China to go and China to threaten them. Escalating this. I was Chinese and I have millions in mind. Child with the good news. So, let me answer nothing. They mustn't say a hammer. I had more good news than this terror is a car. So I feel so, but if I had failed the school, if I had not grown up, I would maybe slide back into this terrorizing guy. But I do terrorize people, I think, on social media.
In a good way.
I terrorize people with my journalism.
Yes.
I think
that's another thing that journalism.
I think because journalism. So when you started working in the press club as policing, is this where you saw what manje maybe
I was always a prolific writer in the school. The first time I had a dance with journalism, mina ngafundiswa umuntu omnyama isiLungu esikole. Ngafundiswa in expatriate from the UK. So umama lo wasifundisa from form 1. Then city form 2, she formed a school magazine, The White Water. One drafter in as a reporter. Then she would encourage me to write letters to the editors. Until in city form 3, she made me editor of the school magazine. Then she encouraged me to start writing opinion pieces to newspapers. Sunday news but $250. It was a lot of money. Then I think school fees, but I never used it to pay school fees because my move better. Then she taught me who sells the camera. She even gave me camera. Then she would bring me newspaper. I'm a UK. She would come back to the Guardian International. I remember in particular newspaper the Thomas Peter Ncube oversized the picture clothes. With the new church based with a question mark. So then I fell in love with writing. So the man even is a table. In fact, in grade 7, I was reading books large volumes. Then in that was in school I was a fan of large volumes. And she would even give me No, I never read that thing. And she would make sure that I don't read. I'm a pay set, I didn't read them. She would recommend books as well. You know, Edgar was an African literature guy. You would force me to read these books. Yes. Then ngathanda lami ukubala. So just police even ku training. The cities ngaqeda ukutrainer. Ngaqala ukubhala. Then ngithe ngifika esipoliseni sase Donington. Ngistart public relations. I was already writing for Outpost as a columnist. Bembhadala futhi writing ama poems. Then ngithe ngiqeda ukwenza public relations. Sengiseze Rose Camp, I started mass communication at BS. By then I was already writing for the Sunday News as well. Ngabhalela about Dispatch, ngabhalela about Daily News.
Usuka njani esipoliseni?
Then esipoliseni bese ngikhuphela kakhulu lapha nama promotion, kuyi promotion akanje boyela uzele driving school, PA office la maybe into leave for 3 months. You care for 3 months. Given a company car, defend. Then 2007.
Yes.
Isn't the very started to better in 2000. So the politics services in general cool so then 2007 imali bisinga it was worthless money as police in Ghana. Then I got an offer with the Zimbabwean. Zimbabwean, they keep the first issue.
Yes.
Time I keep second, keep a first issue at that email address. I wrote to these guys that I'm a cop, but in journalism, I'm a journalist, very policy, and as long as I don't write about this ZRP and other stuff, the politics.
Yeah.
So Umbanga responded, what we can take you on a trial basis. I wrote my first stories, I think about 5 stories about Matebeleland. Then Tempale 5 stories. Umbanga sent me an email. What the police is telling you, resign as police and this is what we are offering you. And that money, in rents.
So to Ususa Zimbabwe to be South Africa?
No, mine's a balance Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Then I cheese police, I give a 30 days notice. What was the mood is in Ncube? What kind of officer in charge?
Yeah.
But the police very one man. If you decided enough, yes, and decided you are district officer commanding, you are officer commanding province, and then I know I've taken a decision. I remember what decision have you taken, because Tina, we believed when I was going to be one of the commissioners.
Yes.
And he wasn't lying, because where I was raised.
Yeah.
I decided to join politics. I was a therapy. Shut the door. I decided to join opposition politics. I went to attend CCC. When I left, he even issued a statement that you are happy with this therapy. The industry is producing a more professional can be pushed by
yeah.
So I choose a therapy.
So were you right when you said you are now joining politics?
No. So I was journalism here. My opportunities are with the Zimbabwe. Because the Zimbabwean, they gave me a contract, but they didn't stop me from writing for other publications. I remember in 2008, my elections, I had more than 5 publications that I was writing. Earning huge amounts of money, and in Ncube I was writing mostly for international newspapers.
Is it the time that you're writing also for the Chinese? Is it the Morning Post from China?
No, China Morning Post in Paila. By that time, I'm the Zimbabwean. There was Zim Online, there was The Week, UK. Is £150 per story, and per week they would publish 2 of my stories, which means £300 per week, 1,200 a month. I was writing for Kickoff magazine, Kickoff policy. Yeah.
So would you say
South Africa?
Yeah, in Kickoff, I wrote for Kickoff for very, very long.
Would you say if I say journalism? What inspired you? Like you did speak about your love for writing. Out there, podcast Yabantu, we've always wished him to be a journalist.
Yeah.
And I see. I think also you're still able to mention the accolades that you've got in that field. What would you say to an upcoming journalist that is there? The journalism journalism before. It's a fanana and your love for journalism. Or your also contribution would now officer like journalist we out there push in. Is it a lucrative career in or you career would die Noma maybe Zuzi man can you be rich man
it depends on what you want to write about. Because it's very it's over flooded, like sports, like entertainment. I don't think we would be a journalist. Journalist to sports, but beat right. But unfortunately, we beat right. Dangerous. I'm an investigative journalist. There are a lot of dangers. Now, investigative journalism, I'm not talking about some of the people that I see being ululated over Twitter or Facebook. This guy brilliant. Then you start regurgitating into story. I'm talking about investigative journalism. asoze ngiqambe amagama no sabi maybe ngizobaqamba phambi so uthola like okay like uHopo Lchingwana
okay
I don't believe ukuthi yes he's doing fantastic work as a journalist is he an investigative journalist?
No,
maybe I haven't seen his work but things that he writes I mbona medume ngazo ukuthi he's exposing one his partisan is exposing only the Izan. Of course, he's all right. You can't be an activist in journalism. It's allowed. But is he an investigative journalist? I ask again. I don't believe so until I've seen where he's investigated anything. Because when we are
but he's talking about drugs again. Ask if I talking about drugs.
That's what I'm talking about. Somebody gives you.
That's not investigation.
What did you investigate when? Because I believe I will tell you a story where two of my main stories that I will talk about. I know when I know about Indabagaluka, but that is not even the peanut of them.
Yes.
I did a story about Zimbabweans across South Africa.
Okay.
You have seen izithombe zabantu abanye bengena ngaphansi kwefence, abanye umama soyibhabhulutha ngaphansi kwefence, abanye beseqaphezulu.
Yes.
I took those pictures.
Well, those are your pictures.
My pictures.
Okay.
I want hours with those stories. Ngangena ungabuza uma press will tell you. Ngahamba labo malayisha mina. I had a passport esemthethweni. But I had to dice with death ngisengena emfuleni. And I was dicing with death on two fronts. First of malayisha bangakubona. I was carrying my spy cameras. Ukuthi when the passport kodwa ungena la. Anything can happen to you.
Yes.
Or maguma can kill anytime.
Yeah.
Ingwenya zingabulungu. Zingabubamba. Or anything can happen there. This is what we talk about. There should be an element of danger. Mazohlala 3 days underground enyati investigating emgodini emine a disused mine ila ucheketha papa investigating ukuthi ocheketha why besidla imali yabo ngendlela abayidla ngayo bantata bathi sambu yebonti ngasiphila njani. So anything could have happened there without taking away anything from uHopo. He's not the only one. He's a brilliant journalist.
Yes.
I don't even measure up to the work that he has done and he's doing. But I'm saying he is not, according to me, I may be wrong because I'm human, he's not an investigative journalist. So I would tell umntwana ophandle ngalo ukuthi yes, journalism is lucrative. But then ukuthi wena then iyakusebenzela yini depends on, are you a bringing person? Are you a person osebenzela comfort? Yes, comfort must be the ultimate. But what do you perceive as a comfort? To me, comfort ukuthi ngibe wazi ukuthi okay, kulabantu abangade bengelatshwa esibhedlela because they are foreigners. I've reported on this, I've exposed, and a policy shift has taken place, and these people now can be treated.
Okay. Also, journalism more of like even into Lubizo. I want to make a change.
Yes, Lubizo, but each change, I have to be clear about this. It's not only a change, abantu inilava and balangabo. It should also result in a change because we exist to build a legacy. So if you have your legacy being trashed by abantu abakho wena obazileyo because you couldn't take them to school because you chose to be a hero for the rest of the community, but kibo wehlule ukubenzela anything, then it's not change. So first you must be able to provide for your family, leave them with isipho lapho abazahlala khona, leave them with a legacy that they are going to cling on to, while also giving this community that you live around a comfort as well. You see, so umntwana ophandle ngala will tell them ukuthi once you don't do it for the money, money may come, it may not come. You need to be lucky again to write for international media houses because Zimbabwe will tell you the truth. Zimbabwe is that's why you see people creating stories, no stories, because they want to lead us back into that era yakudala ukuthi stories eZimbabwe zibe mnandi. So thina sitesingena journalism will be better, like I'm telling you, holy man is in Gawa. When I came to South Africa, I was done with my life in Zimbabwe, of which where Zimbabwe tomorrow I'll be very happy because I do have what I need to be there. Because what you are telling Yabantu, I will live even better here, I mean in Zimbabwe than I live here. Yeah. So choose correctly, but know ukuthi lapho, especially when investigative journalism, especially when you choose to write human rights, when you choose to write politics, which is what pays, there is danger.
So in journalism, right now, are you still writing as a sakbon bhala?
Ngike ngathatha break with journalism. I think I did take a knock in 2014. Ngesikhathi kuthiwa ngibaba. Then on advice from our international donors that were keeping me with food on my table.
Why are they doing
it? I know. Like I'm saying, I met a lot of friends with the work that I was doing. I was working with minama editors, especially abantandeka kakhulu, their wives, and they never leave you behind. So what
they not using because not several times we hear it's highly likely, especially if you are speaking maybe in a different way, or what makes you the white man from somewhere else loves Mxolisi from Sipeva? Is it that you are giving him, or you are singing to his tune, or you are telling him what he wants to hear? Maybe bad mouthings your country, or writing, because you know it's an open secret that you have wrote several articles maybe against the Mugabe government, and then, and why would you find so much favor with these white people that saw it fit to keep you going?
I think you gravitate towards people or situations that you are used to. I mean, like I said, anzange ngafundiswa ngumuntu omnyama isilungu, science, I think the geography. And mangise ngobulawa I lived in Bellevue, around Abelungu. I became part of their community. Then I read English books kakhulu. I read ama newspapers, like I was telling you ukuthi bemphathela iGuardian. The way I write, I don't go for these big words. I go for the simple English that they use in their own publications, and the way I approach my issues. One thing is
all
this balance
to them, all these big newspapers international.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
All these journalists were
you tend to write for newspapers that first appeal to you, because you know what it will be easier for me to write for.
Did you apply, or did you?
Yeah, I applied.
Or you applied?
Newspaper with the email address.
Okay.
Then I apply, I tell them what I'm in Zimbabwe, and I believe what is Zimbabwe right now is making international headlines. But some of these issues are not being published. Some of the stories that you are publishing are even my stories. Send you a link of the story that I originally did, which somebody is just regurgitated or 2 mailers on when I was published.
Yeah.
Then I tell you, I already have the pitch ready for you.
Okay.
The editor only started in the story. Then they'll say, okay, we're not employing you, but send the pitch. I tell you, with journalism or too many pitch which is appetizing. You can send the story. You nail the first story.
Are you going back to journalism or is catalyst?
Yeah, I taken a knock. There was a time whereby I felt I've done everything for journalism. I step into it because I didn't see any challenge. Then I think that is the breather that I needed. Then now I'm geared again. I'll start writing, but I'll also I have my new YouTube channel which I've launched. I'll also be doing some of the stuff. But I would write again for my newspapers. People will see again.
Will you be writing political stories?
I'll be writing politics very niche.
But now,
political stories, I'll be writing human rights stories.
Why I asked you that question is the Mxolisi that we have right now is now partisan. Now belongs to a certain party. It's unlike a Mxolisi that we had before, who could just say their mind because they did not belong to any particular political party. As I think you now belong to the new party, which is TPF. Doesn't that affect your writing, especially when you write political stories? To say now, because we expect journalists to be non-partisan. I don't know if it's right or not. Ama-ethics journalism akuvumela yini khona ngoba ngicabangela ukuthi umcabango wami ukuthi sokungenzeka since wena now usuyi-member of a certain political party sokungenzeka wena usebenzise lokho kugabaza bakho bokubhala wena and to squash or to write bad amanye amaphathi lawo and use ubugabazi bakho your Shakespeare wood bakho to advocate for elakho that you believe in. Whereas I believe that you don't mind journalism yokuthi ufake stories njalo njengoba senzele njalo.
Ngizawuphendula ngendlela ezihlukile umbuzo wakho. Okokuqala, I don't believe there is anything called what you are writing bad about a certain individual or organization because I believe ukuthi ubad na ngokwakhe is a perceptional word. Bad mawubheka ungaphi because journalism is based on facts.
Okay.
If I say umongezi is raped, even umongezi ongowezana, CCC. If umongezi is raped and I got these facts and I lay them bare, then there's nothing bad about that.
Okay.
What's wrong ukuthi mina bese ngichaya propaganda against umongezi. Ngithi umongezi urapile. Ngasa uproof ukuthi umongezi urapile. And then I choose ukuthi uphold my ethics of journalism.
Okay.
When I decide to okay, now I'm going full time into journalism, like I've decided now. One thing that I will not do, I will not interview a TPF person. I will not write a single story about TPF.
Okay.
But that if there is a story to write now about TPF,
I want.
Don't you think to supermanisa on my ethics of journalism whereby TPF, which means you must change because you're TPF.
It's something called use bias.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying when I'm going to TPF much, a TPF kumbe limniki project wangenzi kahle TPF usho also umbhali.
But I'm not a journalist for TPF.
No, but you're a journalist.
TPF as a party or as an organization should know what okay ngasifuna lokho kuphuma. These are the journalists we should say.
No, but when le ndaba ifike kuwe etafuleni yakho angithi ulolwazi wena when as a journalist you are aware.
Ngithole njani because this is where I'm coming to.
So kungenzeka wena uthole indaba ekade ngalimaza bekumelele ngihambele yakhe isibhedlela iTPF iklabane kwalali lafika la yakhe isibhedlela lina ngoba ilunga nini selihlimala so usuzalinda ukuthi utholakale journalist because wena you now belong to TPF awusasibhalele leso story wenze umhlawumbe wazi ukuthi cha uJovi we-TPF usedlimali inkosi ngiyasibhedlela khona.
Yeah, let me explain this. Mina ngaqala ukusebenzisa proximity yami to TPF, which I don't know if I will still be a TPF member after Congress. Ngaqala usebenzisa that proximity.
But membership
write stuff about TPF. What would stop me from pushing my personal agendas to get rid of I mean, maybe to prop myself up within the party. Characters. So I would rather stay away.
With this vibrant and powerful journalist who has got a calling with journalism, ungenelele politics.
No, ngafaka politics and I responded to the call. No, because even in the journalist in job,
awunanzelele ukuthi wena yes, you're not a full-time politician.
What is a full-time politician?
No.
Yeah, right.
One way, you had parties that you liked.
Let me tell you this. In Zimbabwe right now, it's better to be le party. I'm a member of this party. Because you don't want to catch people unawares. Kumele nxa uinterview wena maybe MLF ube walapha interview umuntu vele sephathini yakhe you know what to tell me and what not to tell me. There are people who tell me stuff in confidence about their parties and and they must be able to understand ukuthi umjitalo one is ethical and bengabonise keeping that confidence. So angadluleli phambili. it's better for me to come to you ngutshele ukuthi I belong in this party than what I'm seeing in Zimbabwe of journalists getting money to write certain things about certain parties. There are journalists who have never written, balanced stuff. People are being paid to write certain issues.
We are journalists.
Kakulu level, they know what I know them, but I won't mention them here because these are people. I don't fight individuals. I fight systems. I don't even fight organizations. I fight systems. That's why you see Yabantu sitting in Chamisa defend his hand at some point. It's because I've identified a certain system which must be crushed, whether parties exist or not.
How do I work with Chamisa?
Do you have beef with the Chamisa?
With the Chamisa?
Chamisa, we have worked so well with Chamisa. Me is journalist, I'm a spokesperson with MDC. We would clash with Chamisa, sing a columnist for a month. I remember in 2008, he called me one tell Utiena, Abantu Babacha, Makaya, what Bachawa is. Then I asked him, which haven't water so that I know how to take this story. Which haven't water, have you heard Uti? Opposition. But you can't be asking me about this into the Tambara. Call the Mubabuzi while asking me.
But why wrong? Why wrong?
I'm not saying you're wrong, right? Sikhala 1 month is not Kulumisa. Emma before now. Yes, because what right. Is one person that I really like. I like. I don't fight organizations. I fight systems. What is happening with CCC and TPF? I'll be the first person out the door with TPF because I would have identified which Joe is here without putting him on the spot. He will tell you there was a time whereby we were threatened with an executive president.
Yes.
I spoke up, I was always giving warnings. No. We wake up, sing of we wake up under an executive president.
But I
just one person who would fight.
But I want to when they deal with the problem, problem.
That's where the problem is.
I swear you
want to tell what was landed.
But my land
then was landed this is not the issue. The issue is Morges. If politics, party, you win, and it should result in a change in your personal circumstances. What you mean? Supported Liverpool, Liverpool for 30 years. Liverpool after 30 years, or 29th year, or 30th year, it wins the league. And the owner, the players, the coaches get all the money in the world. We get nothing. This is what is happening right now. But where we go, voted because they are defending a TF. He's a very good friend of mine, by the way, spokesperson. When tell what you join this, I'm on Facebook. I'm taking look more devil and join into the not even patriotic. Because I believe what it change. There must be something called democratic consolidation. South Africa, they can't even afford a meal. There is no democratic consolidation. So, 1980, Ncube must die. Those same people who said Ncube must die, and now say we made a mistake, Ncube because they followed the person.
Recently, social media, most of the times we've seen to be always against Yabantu that are pushing for a Zimbabwe exit. We are separatist people of Mtwazi, political parties that have always said we want out of Zimbabwe. Your stance on that, you have always been against this ideology, and you have always been against that. So the question one would be, why I've also included them in this question is because it's also from them where even their president spoke ill or ukhulume criticizer uba Nkomo, and babuya labo besithi bebhasha futhi ukuthi no vele Nkomo wasithengisa. Kuliqiniso yini Nkomo wathengisa? Oqala umbuzo oqala. Okwesibili ubuthwakazi lo ohlala wena ungazwani la kungani ungazwani la?
Right, ithi mqalebe kaNkomo. Ukuze ukuthi usuthengisile. Kumele ukuthi mina lawe siqale sihlale phansi sivumela indoda. Lapha sePitoli siyachaya imoto yemali. Singachaya imoto yemali, these are going to share the money. Wena ukusuka lapho ufonela amaphoyisa. Uthi siya ePitoli. UMxolisi uthi siyachaya imoto yemali. Develop some other stories wena nihambe yobotshwa. Kumbe sithi sesichaya imoto yemali ubusumbulala. You've sold me out. Ubusumbophiza. But mina lawe singavumela ukuthi siya ePitoli siyachaya imoto yemali. Sihambe ePitoli sifike sichaya imoto yemali, sithi singachaya imoto yemali lesiya eZimbabwe siyathenga amaplaza ngololo lo yazibonela. Sihambe sochaya imoto yemali seZimbabwe anti sifike thina senze sikwenzayo. Sibotshwe kumbe singabotshwa sifike senze sikwenzayo. uJoy efuna yena ukuthi no abantu abachaya imoto yemali kumele baye eKZN bafike bathenge umhlathuze ube ngoba bathatha abanye abantu bakibo bafake khona abese sithi sithengisile. We never had a plan with him azange saba lesivumelano laye so asimthengisayo. Angithi that's the first thing. Nkomo didn't start Zappo. Nkomo was leading a railways workers union. Abantu baziqalela iparty bayibiza Southern Rhodesia ANC. Yes. Invite but no, but the gang came leaders. Mulwana siyambona is got leadership qualities. Doctor, this is our vision. Sicela usilead. Bababuza imbuzo bayijoin ivision le. Very they mind mapped what they wanted. But nxa sebe ngeva isikhathi sokubhana, they called their party Zappo for a reason. They didn't call it MAP. They called it ZAP. They went to war fighting for ZAP. They had people from Mashonaland, name food, and from Matebeleland in all the other areas of Zimbabwe. It's not only Mashonaland and Matebeleland. There was Manikaland, there was Maswingo, there was other of these areas. This is how we're going to govern it. And in Mepyangona, even in this fictitious Jameson line, it was in I'll talk about that. So, what these guys are the Hambala, had every right to say what says things because there was an agreement. So what these people Abam Sola or Manje visit what things are actually saying what he should have sold out. They are angry what he didn't sell out on the people that he had an agreement with. Did he make mistakes? He made a lot of them. But you acknowledge ama mistakes was to trust abantu about wrong. When I'm saying I'm going back to this analogy. Say sonke then I'm not the guilty one.
But the signs were there. They told you. And the signs were there. There is a plot, you understand? This thing that you are pushing for is not going to work. Because there is this other plot to this side. And when now we've even told your people to surrender even arms. You understand? And this is all against you. All this information, because you know, that's how it's said. That's not what I'm saying. That's how it's said, how they explain themselves.
Right.
But he chose to ignore all this and continue pushing people towards the train. And all these other things, marginalization and all these things that they claim to because of his mom, even a child.
Right, let me respond to that. I mean, I'm happy to mention Ukaisa. Ukaisa believed oqala and ite mina unkomo uvumelane labantu abehamba lapho Kaiser was he a member of ZAPO etshela unkomo kona lo he wasn't and so why would unkomo listen to an outsider yene labantu within the party that is an agreement with that's the first point Kaiser went ahead with what he believed was going to work the people of Matabeleland kicked him in the teeth they smashed him in the teeth abamvotelanga ehamba ngesization leyo so did Nkomo send out the people of Matabeleland he did it they were given this option yokuthi kuthiwe votelani ukuphuma and they did it so Nkomo didn't sell out anyone he didn't sell out the voters he didn't sell out abantu akade hamba la and then it's interesting when we mention indaba kaKaiser because if there is anyone who's got a history of selling out. I won't mention this here. Kaiser, the old man, when research about Kaiser, he's got a history of working with the colonialist government. Even at the heat of the war, just go and research that. I'm done.
But just hints, I'm a podcast.
You know, Kaiser was even a deputy minister in the colonial government. Go and check that out. So this is the person. Why would Nkomo listen to someone who's working with the enemy? So go and check that. Research whether Kaiser has always had a history of doing this.
So man, because I think
who put Kaiser to be a king?
Is the colonial
check these things. Right.
So are you also now rubbishing the works of his son?
I don't know his works. What works does he say Kaiser
pushing for diaspora votes, things like that?
Is his work? Because everyone we are pushing for the diaspora votes. I mean, Kaiser, when did he first speak about the diaspora vote? Recently. When was the first time we heard about the calls for? Because even yesterday, Copper came about we spoke about the diaspora vote. It was even incorporated in the constitution. So that's not his works. Singa nigezi umuntu is toto angasiboni.
So Mbuzulano west to
the second question.
Are you anti Mtwagazi?
I'm not. I'm Mtwagazi.
Yes.
How
can I think
I'm anti-secession.
Yes.
The main reason being the way these guys are approaching this. I don't believe we can build a revolution on anger. I don't believe we can build a revolution on tribalism because they are saying what amashona kumele akhitshwe eMatabeleland and they are insinuating ukuthi amashona aze eMatabeleland after 1980, which is a lie. In 1934, 36, we had a club formed in Matabeleland called Mashonaland United. In Matabeleland, Bulawayo. It metamorphosed into Zimbabwe Saints.
Oh, it's what?
It was formed in the 1930s.
Oh, it's
what?
The people we invited to Joshua Nkomo to come and lead them, our Benjamin Babe Bulawayo, Bengamashona, or Aaron Chacha, who was the inaugural leader of the Southern Rhodesian African National Congress, was a Shona guy. And then also city when 2022.
Amashona ahambi.
Usule Tamasi moment amashona vele never belong. Sendawo uto watch Gumire. Yes, silabo Murombo. Ntula maflets utwa iburombo hostels. Silabo Mnyoro. Then all of a sudden you want to obliterate this history of Umnyoro. Umnyoro must be uprooted ayilahlelwa. Then sengiqala ukuziranga Umnyoro selahlelwele. Ngubani omyozolandela. And we are seeing the traits that is uncle Mtunga colonial agenda.
Yes.
So uqala ukubizwa abantu ngamaholi. Lo le group ku Facebook ayibizwa Jokes in Ndebele no Kalanga please. All the jokes correct they were against Kalanga. So what are you building here? So ngihle ngibona ukuthi no. La
Ingos.
Then the other thing I'm telling you I don't lie to you. I don't respect the guy at all.
Why?
But this Chamisa line, this imaginary statue, umuntu opho nguthatha ukhuni wathi ngakrossa lapha ilanga lengabacholi.
Antu ayobelipota entwas.
Ipote less than a meter wayibona. So yadwetshwa njani? uLobhengula history yakhe yokulwa nabelungu. The first time they ever had a conflict bebeba ngemazowe. Umazowe inga seMashona land. Abantu ababuya befuna ama mining concessions wabayabela khonale. Bebengasoze babuye besoqina kuye if that place was not under his care and
lokubona ipicture nje ndala kakhulu ebhanki inkosi uLobhengula AC the king of Mashona and the Matabeleland
and other territories. So uLobhengula gave them a portion of his land. Check ama letters that he wrote to the queen. Ngendaba zemazowe ethi abantu laba babuya kimba ficela indawo zokwemba igolide. Ngabanikeza. But now they are parceling out this area sebephanana isindawo yabo yokuhlala. But they babe bekeep igolide bahambe. And that's where the first conflict began. And because it was this area. Then usiyabulawa this chief, the chief. It's not Ncube but wayesiya eMashonaland areas isiyothatha inkomo zani zenkosi ubengazilandi kuma individuals inkomo lezi beziqoqwa nama chiefs azici izinkomo zenkosi which means those chiefs were working for the king. So this guy wacrosser esiyathatha inkomo zenkosi bathiwa ilanga lingakutsho within 24 hours now ngajika ungacrossanga la you are a dead man. You ignored that.
Yes.
Wathatha inkomo zenkosi ubelieve ukuthi akulamuntu phela indawo yenkosi ngacrossa la inkomo zenkosi zingekho ami dead man. Inkosi iyo yodwa presides over this area. Wathi nxa esezocrossa after the time babulawa. So this line is a line of rebellion. uLobhengula ngavuka manje uyaqala ukuquma labo bantu abathi kaliquni because baquma his territory. So they are the ones who are selling out on the king. These people. So all this what secessionist agenda is based on fiction.
But what are you saying about their calls now? With the issues that they are raising, in as much as maybe you are against the solution that they are proposing, but now they talk of into marginalization, into tribalism. As I mentioned before, would you find a company, my creator, going to the other side of the country, our culture, as the Zabubo, who says I want to be happy. Look, one look, you go back to the city. Katiwana blesses the soul to him. I also saying Gukona Babuku and Makona on Makumbono Gukona no my solo valent to live without still was pillars suit. Jamu Kala and Taman Triluti, Sikhala like this pillars suit.
All Carmel define Yabantu over and Yabantu watch because Sikhala elections were 2013, 2018. The president of that particular part, it is very cool. Let's not personalize this on MRP.
Yes.
Lapa Zaloko, Ematopo, which is where I come from. What will 357 votes. And Lapa Zaloko, which means Abantu Bagibo is saying, we don't buy this. So Abantu. Are we talking about members of these parties who were talking about? What beats our resources that not Kamalako figure? I want to figure about voting. Now, always be and you would write. Just come out right. I want to say my Matabeleland. You know, these issues of marginalization. Yes. I share most of the grievances. I don't share the cause that they are giving to us and the diagnosis, and I don't agree with the prescription because and I've already said there is a party here which is run by cartels. It's these cartels who go around. There is no ordinary showing up where the favorite monkeys. But these people are members of a certain party, and some of these people are into our area. It's because Imatebeleland had rejected Izanu in 2000. MDC. Then they wanted to dilute by bringing Yabantu other parties and their own members from other regions, and so the only way we can get rid of this is to get rid of this part which is run by cartels, because these people, all tribalism, and even some of the ordinary people on the ground practice it. But what comes first as a biggest problem is centralization, because you find umhlaba osemangwe uze uphasele out uthi lapha sohlala abantu, the decision must come from Harare. That person ose Harare ufuna ukudla, abanye abantu abazahamba ngale babe bembhadele yena because he's greedy, behambe bona bebhadele ukuba lapha uphuma ama stains eplant kwenziwe the same thing. The person who is supposed to preside over that use Harare, then abese hambisa abantu bakhe. And number 2 is partisanship. And wena ulishona ufuna iplaza usilwa libanga iplaza le Ndebele eliyizana, you are sure to lose that one because when ulishona eli MDC umuntu uyizana even eli Ndebele. And we are seeing these things happening. So eyami prescription ithi uthe wena why kumele sikhiphe njani isandla, let's unite beyond i-race le tribe, but let's unite around issues that will address this systemic marginalization, which I said is mainly due to first decentralization, number 2 partisanship, then tribalism comes as number 3, and keep a party, then we can solve that issue. That would be the first port of call.
MRP 9, the boys have been arrested for trying to voice out Uguti. They were, I think they were toying against the disappearance of their president. And then I believe the freedom of speech maybe allows them to toy. They are still arrested. What is your take there when as a journalist and also as an activist?
Now, I'm not sure what but what I would say is that it doesn't take kindly to anything that threatens his power. And any protest, even in your motor, a friend of mine who disappeared for staging a one-man protest. Those guys did what they believed should be done, but they were doing it against a party which doesn't want that to be done. Number 2, I would also blame the MRP on its own because I don't think these people organized this thing, obviously within party structures. President, they believe so much in because they believed Ncube has been abducted. And the fact that they went to a central police station where political prisoners are first detained and tortured, it shows what they strongly believed that this guy is there. But this guy knew where he was. Obviously, the party has security. They knew who to president. But in what I presume or I assume was a political grandstanding at the expense of life of Yabantu. They allowed this thing to continue so that it gives them political mileage. Former TPF president, what we call it. What if you have a gigantic opponent with all of the arms of state and weapons of the state behind you, you don't go around advertising your wish to take them out of power because they will crush you. In Clarence City, Yabantu, they always accuse me what in 90s that were part of the Kate Croft. Attack ZRP when you are assured what you are going to win. Or you are going to take a lot of casualties from them, and you are going to sustain this attack. I want to know what it is a Kijimari with 13 feet by Chikichel. You have a Chikichela, so this is in Valley Landing, Valley told me like what this happened, like what happened. Ends. And the other funny part is, who President Wabo, she's out of a dinner and if was attacked, which means maybe they had a case against him, according to them. And I'm not saying they should have arrested him, but he's out, he's addressing people, nothing, not even with this. So at the end of the day, they know because the politics is but I won't lie. These guys, they did what they believe would work because they were doing it for somebody they look up to, somebody they can take the bullet for. Then on the flip side is the president ready to take the bullet for these guys. It's an open question.
Job Sikhala, God visitor. They are in jail as it is.
I didn't fall in the lokuze
Jobs Sikhala
no
more blessed
but Job Sikhala, I think it's not the first time. Which Job is a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, who has fought battles for me with social media, and I believe his biggest undoing is in a party where there is always competition for leadership, there is competition for populism, and the people that he may believe are actually with him may actually be seeing a competitor in him. Remember the party like splitter, he led the MDC 99. Why split it why did the MDC 99 now they've gravitated back towards one another. So there is a lot that is happening within CCC. There is a lot of fights that are happening in the Indiana. As a friend of mine, advice would be come careful.
Okay.
Because if Zanu doesn't kill him, he will be killed by his own part. That is a fact.
And one of you, I think also for the benefit of a podcast, podcast amahle pandle. Kule gama lehlali phoso around. And la ukukhuluma kwenye inkulumo yakhe wathi kule party thizeni supporta this. And angazi ukuthi abantu kakhulu liyasetshenziswa kakhulu but abantu abakwazi ukuthi ngicabanga yena ungomunye wezikucamfundo zakithi esizidebhile njalo uya-understand ukuthi ithini ukuthi affecta njani njengelizwe kule gama wena Ncube lihamba liphoswa lapha ezindaweni eziningi kuthiwe sanctions against Zimbabwe yini ama-sanctions la kuhlala kukhulunywa ngawo just ama-podcast asilazi ukuthi kuyini liyasetshenziswa kakhulu ma kukhulunywa ukuthi i-economy yethu injenje kwenxa sanctions lawa kunje usuka ukhuluma wathi kule party efana MDC ebiza ama-sanctions azibuza kuyini nje uyawazi wena mfolo ngizingo
eqinisweni ngangicabanga ukuthi ngiyawazi kodwa sengibona ngathi angiwazi ngendlela osokuhlala ublamewa wona
kuthiwe lokho sanctions lalaba abaphikisayo labo baletha ama-sanctions yini ama-sanctions njalo affecta njani like a normal person thina nje onjwadile Ncube la layman terms yini wayibeka kuma-podcast abantu amahle phandle ukuthi i-sanction yinto enje and eZimbabwe inje and ku-affecta so wena njengomuntu nje general njengamiso
ama-sanctions ngiyangizwe babiza ngezikhezo zenotho they buy you from trading with certain people with certain countries in fact and now our Zimbabwe alama layers there are sanctions against the country which are written down in the form of a document called the Zimbabwe Democracy and Economic Recovery Act eyabhalwa ngo-2001 passwa yi-US Congress
yabhala e-US
yes
ibhala ngelizwe
abantu abathi yabhala i-MDC but angikhulumi ngento engazaziyo but yaphaswa yi-US Congress right leyo it sanctions iZimbabwe it's got no mention of an individual ikhuluma ngeZimbabwe as a country ikhuluma ngokuthi ama-governors of US banks who sit in any multilateral institution should veto any decision to give iZimbabwe balance of payment support, to give iZimbabwe debt relief, to give iZimbabwe anything which can lead to economic recovery, and it bars any Zimbabwean state parastatal from getting balance of payment support from anywhere. Right. Nyangizwa abantu bekhuluma ngento zabo human rights what it's not the issue because the biggest human rights violations in Zimbabwe came in the 1980s when 20,000 people were killed. We saw Mugabe boasting ukuthi yena has got degrees in violence. That's because he was given degrees after that, which means he was being rewarded for this violence. But ama-sanctions ungavalizidera ikhuluma ukuthi iZimbabwe is supporting, has provided military support to the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yes.
DRC was under attack from rebels that were backed by Rwanda and a sponsor in the United States of America to loot and plunder DRC. Unfortunately, Zimbabwe went there for purposes of looting, which did not benefit us as a people. So one of the conditions Zimbabwe must withdraw from the Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo. That was the main issue. When reform, human rights abuses became a cover to gain support from within Zimbabwe, of which unfortunately we have parties that are now piggybacking on that to even say whether they've got keys to unlock economic power. Then another layer of sanctions, which is travel restrictions against ZANU-PF people.
Like individuals.
These target individuals. But the other issue is when these people, because whatever committed some human rights violations, without paying for their criminal activities, the sanctions are lifted.
Okay.
I'll tell you about who was under sanctions without evidence. With evidence, they were sending terror gas to beat up people and even kill others. But Mapuma was as a kitchen. So it shows Utilapa Siahlala. And even if you see Nangena or TPF in or ZANU in power, they will still need to satisfy the requirements or the demands, because those are demands which US doesn't satisfy. American elections are very controversial manga. Trump tengena batwari yes. Kona manje Trump simbone capital. No, these people, how do they survive? They survive by suppressing other people. They survive on suppressing other people.
Yeah, true.
That is the only thing that they do. Because of superpower. Right now, by showing their military strength here in South Africa, by Zambia, by Botswana, they're building military bases everywhere because they want to be the ultimate voice. America will tell you 99% of the people in American jails are black people who are arrested not because of crime, but because of systemic racism.
So would you say when Zimbabwe has taken a very good stance in resisting that infiltration from the Americans?
No. It can only be a good stance if it benefits the people. This is where I was coming with it.
Okay.
Comparing our activities as ZANU-PF of looting, plundering, shutting out economic space with our sanctions. Both have contributed to economic downturn, but what has contributed more than the other is actually the doings of ZANU-PF. But I believe Uguti as Zimbabweans, both of these things work against us, and we must not take sides with either of the two. Both bad governance, the sanctions must go. And whoever supports those two must go. But that is why ICC must be the last to even talk about that, because ANU supports the sanctions, ANU is looting the state, and actually supports the sanctions. ICC, you've seen, social media about the sanctions of Figuti, sanctions in Zimbabwe. Against Zimbabwe must go. People are going to come there to when we ZANU. ICC people. They will defend the sanctions because they've been given this narrative, because they are an anti-Zimbabwean party which only pays allegiance to power. Only. They just want power. Like ZANU-PF, which would kill you to be in power physically. ICC would rather kill you supporting the sanctions against you. Because they wanted to keep either uprise against the state or vote Kipisa. So we are being used by these two parties to further their hunger for power.
So angazi ukuthi kwe politics ukusasa lombuzo yini. Uyafuna siyajika kancane.
Hayi, ayisibuzo. Ngoba lesikhathi sesihambile.
Yasekho nje maybe sele kwi 5 minutes ya.
Jump esisusi.
Ukwazi yini is at 50. Ukwazi uNondoda lo is a producer.
Yabo.
A musician.
Umapressa wathi yena ingoma thizeni yabhala uMxolisi Ncube. Ngifuna ukubuza ukuthi nguye yini wabhala leyo ngoma noma ngomunye okhulunywa ngaye.
Bengisakutshela ube leqembu elinzima kakhulu legospel elibizwa bathi izwi lesiphelo, and ngithengeza ngathi thuba namhlanje ngibuza ukuthi where is our beautiful group? Those songbirds. They like go to easy. Let's play gospel in this man. What is vision like? You figure what you are celebration.
Wow.
I say,
the group is there, but it last recorded in 2016. The main reason being I was the sole sponsor of the group. In fact, I am the sole sponsor of the group. So I took a financial knock for some time, and I couldn't because I'm a producer. We made a photo pin to promote, market. So then I said, again, but I recorded this year.
Oh, okay.
My composed. Yeah. Yeah, my feeling is like it
was
I took those people, okay, then there's a boy who told promise, a very good boy who sings with a talent. So but I don't want to so I produced again. I composed some of the songs. I'm very nice post to it. So they will be back, but when you are looking because they are keeper.
So what is this?
But it's called the post because they are biggest following. It says post I think they were one of the biggest selling.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You allowed that group to die. The group was doing very well.
I'm alive. In a vision, into a color, this is really rough. Take a knock, but like I'm telling you, they will not record a full album, but they record because the album.
Are they changing genre?
No, they're still in gospel, but they will change
style.
Because I think from the first album to the fourth album, they will change because we growth ever cool and we have another say I was in composition especially his composition so yeah we got composition today but to the apostle it is some apostle is so the last album had some Pentecostal songs, it had some SDA songs, and it also had some soulful songs there.
So you want to include that variety?
Yes, and I'm telling you, into a Puma.
Yeah.
The album is Kuluma News. So is it from a song at the same time?
Alright.
That is Puma and this is promoter on YouTube. Anya
yeah.
That was the same session as it was. Right. Another project that was very powerful.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to the project. I was starting by Ronald move forward to Mascad.
Yes.
MC. Who was he brought him up in the project.
Yes.
He formed. There was a time whereby, music was the people would love to hear how much ever now own books. And we had no access to all those music. Then they came up with a project about music.
Okay.
They did in a shop. I was asking you, tell us more about this vision about music and where is it right now and what was the reasoning behind forming about music? Because I'll tell you, he is also a man that has played a very big role who arts industry. That's why I said it would be unfair for us to close. Yes. On that particular chapter, who arts, his contribution who arts. Besides only not writing or giving a time to an artist that he himself has done a lot of work behind and also like reproducing the music, repackaging and making sure that people get access to that. Buy the music.
Right. IklevaYeRasta music, it was in fact the holding company was IklevaYeRasta Media.
Okay.
Yaqalwa yimi loMkhululi unkosikazi wami loNothani Maseko ongumfundisi.
Oh yes.
Right. The main reason behind was we realized what we had talent lab, especially South Africa. But these guys, first and foremost, they were lacking resources to record. Number two, they were lacking a platform. So we came up with that. Maseko ikolapa aqale khona ukusebenza labo Themba labo Trust weza futhi
is it Jim that marketing company the company
ekama Sewathi
yes Jim
no ndana Gerald
yes
Maseko athi bitwa yena ngizokhumbula
yes
so Maseko bekuvumba yena ngavele umuntu ozithandele
yes
and then ulokuze uMkhululi wanted to do something like a culture didn't take off because umkhululi uyakhala masiyaji. Then mina ngasengiproducer ke the first group ngaqala ngathatha umundoda lapho ngamthola vele eziculela ngamrecorda ngambhadalela imali kuthiwa ngikholiwe mlungwana.
Okay.
Kholiwe I didn't work out ngoba la vele yakhe imqondo abantu ade bevele sebe ku music.
Okay.
Then ngase ngisithi let me start labantu abangakaze bengene e studio. Then that's when I came up with Izwi Lesiphelo, recorded them. Then 2016 uNkulunkulu wangisibonelela I got a big gig e Facebook. Ukhola amagqibha emali incorporated abantu abaningi abobani abogugu number of people. Then basically 5 years. I think you remember when Rana is show it was Women's Day gospel show, which I ran for 5 years. And then I platform one, show and later. Then no. There's a current at that show because my artists they didn't have a place to sell music. What the story? Yeah, I follow Shama City. Yeah, Shama City. The fact is, we artists that we Mxolisi what 30 because what I told was when I incorporated him in, not don't take city lomudu ungapanga umuntu lo imali. Okay. Or let's take them. Sivumela ukuthi if we sell the city because asiwazi oyongamakembe. Yes. We take it 20 rand, so we 30 rand. Okay. And then ngoba le story ukuthi bathi imali ziyadliwa mina never dlana ayingahlanga mali yomuntu because even I rent lapha vele ngo empower umfowethu ukwazi I rent now to pay rent ngeshop bani. Yena la isikuthi ubeyidla because bebesehlule ukuthengisa laba bantu baphinde babuye bona. Bafika thathi iCD lakhe athi ngisalithengisa lapha. Uyabona then bese uvuka so umuntu nxa engathengisi eqala ucreate izinto bese zetha kwathise laba abantu fine ngabe kulabanye vele abaya le mali ezingaphumanga angeke ngiyabe because I wasn't privy to some of these things ngoba mina I didn't want to
imali zazo zingaphumza siyaphi
angwazi because anje that be water mina bengawoti you know wami ngokwazi bewater right then ishow amashow lapha engagcina khona ukuyenza it was in 2016 I did ishow eyagcwala phamba Women's Day. It was before ever show. Ever show it was different from that. It was a show I'm later right too. Yes. Leo yaila abantu bemaskandi. Hele Nando's because it was sponsored about 3 times. Yes. All abantu bemaskandi uzinja was one of the headline artists. Then our mom because it was Women's Day gospel show. Hamba bandala tema vuyo say if Facebook will take you up and boxer, we are trending. Abo mama bachi because they've seen the success of this thing, but you can very go over why we organize your mama. Izinto. Then I go mama basenze izinto zabo. Then there was a hashtag Bayete must fall. I remember Chris la junior lechinga kakhulu besithi omnye mama bemtshethi wena please ngabantu abakho laba nxa usithi bayethe masifola ubona kulala ikhono why lingaqala okwenu lingomama sizabisapota laba
zabakhumbula ngakho
mkhumbule sithi bayethe masifola nxa waxolisa nguthizi. Okay. And uthizi we're not just talking about any other woman, we're talking about a powerful woman umama wethu. Then I sat down athi mina oqala I'm not benefiting from this thing because ukubook venue lokubhadala sound lamanye artists because we had 5 artists abaye bebhadala. Then you advertise this thing ugcina usuthethe imali endle. Yes. What then bese ngisiyazonda mina sithi bebe ngisola abantu bethu abenza into for umphakathi wakithi. Ngathi let me do this for umphakathi wakithi. Then I realized no vela kulanto uthi umphakathi wakithi. It's each man for himself. Achiya. Ngathi la manje ukuthi umphakathi wakithi. I will never ever hold a show for abantu ukuthi ngama bemathekeni end. Ungabona ngihold a show it will be for other nations. They are a thankless lot. They are backbiting. Ayikho into iqalayo. Kahle. Some of them will be threatening you. Some of them will be threatening you. Abanye baze babhala ukuthi mina ngizama urevive icareer yami ngegama lika Joy. Because I was defending you guys. Some people came to me and tell izinto eziningi. ngathi guys sengise mina umuntu onokholisa i-freestyle in-anger yabantu mina manje isithi uyazona I'll make sure uyahlokoza I wasn't born nazangazalwa ngili-2 so akula muntu omele ngimbhekele ukuthi ngizidla lapha sengidlulile they must fuck off ngiyabana when I'm doing things to fulfill my purpose in this world bona abahambela njani I don't care about them yeah
they want to shut us down.
They will try abanye bazalwa lesimali bafike bethi madoda nasi imali kodwa lingayenzi lo interview alubandike kuba
they still want to right now they're trying to tell us what to say
threats of violence amkamlu lizathethisa lokubulawa
ababu
sele interview eminister of
them cars so CIO veni
hayi lokho sidingile zakuphila kuzeni club you don't just wake up usile CIO kumele uye ku training uye le ndawo post wakho kumele ube ne force number so umuntu awuthetha hayi umxolisi uliCIO kakuthetha umxolisi wa recruiter wa train endaweni ethile ngalesi sikhathi ubusukuya kimi uthi wena usukhuluma ukuthi uthiwa train ngalesi sikhathi I will tell you where I was by that particular time and give you more than 20 people abazakutshela ukuthi wayela the force number ngaba kupay something very easy esipoliseni ehamba 046981
lokho yazi
before vele sivalekona le ndaba abahlala khona kakhulu ngahamba kuma channel abe AVG media if you go there ma podcast amahle yathola ama updates amaningi kakhulu ngaku AVG media I think is the channel that is there you have been talking about le ndaba ehlupha kulezi nsuku kakhulu kithi thina abahlala beGoli abahlala esihlala eSouth Africa amaZimbabwe indaba ZRP payments the minister said no renewal I want you guys gone by the end of the year. Right? There has been our Helen Suzman Foundation, they've tried, they've ended up withdrawing. This current guy that is also trying to pursue, who minister recently promised to sue him.
Yes.
So it's a challenge. Where do you put us here? Here there's Operation Tutula here also. In Pilo, and I don't think there's not something also to go back to warm as it is. What is it there for? For one packet.
From an insider's point of view, it's looking bleak. Don't lose hope because our negotiations are okay. We are waiting for a policy conference here and I think it's this month. Because we are being victims of ANC factionalism. There is a new clique economy which is trying to undo everything. ANC was old clique. And there is this perception yokuthi ama-migrants, especially ama-Zimbabweans, and the ANC layo ikhanya si-shifter from that Pan-Africanist approach to adopt, because especially they are smarting from an electoral loss kuma-local government elections, uvuka ama-right-wing movements, patriotic alliance that are writing on this public anger. Then the ANC layo isijitara sizama ukuthi please laba bantu. Then Tina, of course, we're going to take the knock. And so far, Minister Mamuza city and his door is open. But I will tell you right here and right now, for the benefit of your viewers, Ncube has refused to entertain any talks with anyone, and he's using these court cases to say, court cases, even if we reach an understanding, it's a case. But we have seen him again. He said, we are with anger and emotion, even racism against those who are taking him to court, which shows Uguti Quincy. But now, if you ask me, was the court case justified?
Yes.
I think it came too early because it came before the decision, and we're talking here, they are relying on the Immigration Act. Our permit were special dispensation, which can rape against the same Immigration Act, and it benefited Yabantu would even qualify under the Immigration Act. So, as a plus to Mxolisi, okay, we are breaching the Immigration Act. Permanent residence. Let's go back to the Immigration Act. If these people qualify, or if they qualified in the first place to be here, which means they will still qualify now. Apply. See what?
Now, but I'm sure these people that were in ZRP, some of them is people that were made to surrender the previous documents that they had,
IDs.
like the South African IDs. So these payments, they were given as amnesty to say, here is amnesty. Stop using this one, use this one. And even the bulk of the beneficiaries, Yabantu abama ZRP. Nabantu abanga-qualify we have to any other payment that is out there. When's when? If there is no hope in the
IDs that they surrendered.
Yes.
We should be factual with one another. City Tina. Ngubani wenze omunye favor. Umuntu othethe ID yakhe ayithole fraud lake. Wayibisela South African government. Wangabotshwa for i-fraud. Waphiwa i-permit. Uyenzelwe i-favor. Kayenzelanga South Africa i-favor. Nguthola utshontsha uphila ngokutshontshela. Then I'm saying, ndoda bisele ukudla lokho kutshontshana. Izabe ngikuphi ukudla kwesikhathana esithile 4 years sabe si renew. Then no sense saloko unikeza ukudla usithi wena why ngususebusele.
So as you say, the options that we have been given is the non-starter because the bulk of the people do not qualify for any
non-skilled.
They are not skilled. It's just general people that were doing general jobs like gardening, restaurant, security. They don't even qualify for all these other payments.
Yeah.
So if you are telling them to go there, what are you saying?
Does it hurt Utama permits are considered? Yes, it does. Are we entitled to those payments? No, we are not. Did the South African government show us a benevolence? Did they do us a favor? Those payments for 12 years? Yes, they did. Did we have enough time to prepare to move from these payments to other payments? Did we have, they give us enough time to try and make this? Because most of these people that were given these payments are economic migrants who are here to make imali. And now says imali, find someone earning very little. But we had enough time to look for more opportunities. I'm not saying what we right, but I'm saying what there is nothing that Mxolisi has done wrong. There's everything wrong with the way he presents it because he comes with emotions. And I'll tell you what, right now, Mxolisi, the only thing we can blame Mxolisi is the packaging of his messages. He's not a good communicator.
Yes, true.
And but is what he's doing as the Minister of Home Affairs a splendid job for why he's there. 100% correct. Very ayikho into ayenza wrong ngaphandle kokukhuluma wrong.
Hey, Bahlali.
What there's no hope to feed.
Yeah. Uzima.
What's that go to? So it just go to.
I will not say what has got to gain. I will say as Ncengeni. Ungehlula umuntu wathatha decision yakhe yokuthi abuye lapha ngoba ama payments they are affecting ukuthi migration to South Africa will not stop.
Yes, true.
And ama South Africans even ku YouTube I might tell them this will not stop, this will not stop. Ama payments awalethanga amaZimbabwe. Actually amaZimbabwe because it was difficult to deal with them. Ngaze kube le dudula kube le xenophobia ibulale every foreigner inside. Kube kulabanye abafuna ukubuya la.
True.
Ngeke bafe bonke futhi. So South Africa yona izagcina because there are already millions of Zimbabweans who are here documented. So
80,000 is just adding them
contributor to economy.
Taxi and
so bakhiphile
doing right because they know that
I will tell you every system which relies on human reliability is unreliable. People will find a way of bypassing those systems.
True. Bahlali siyabonga isikhathi sambile isikhathi sidle umangoyi kodwa ingxoxo emnandi kakhulu mfundo okuningi ngicabanga ukuthi sisazobuya sizoxoxa ngendaba yobukhosi bamthwakazi ngoba singabuqala manje siyalala la
kodwa ngabe licala lesinikeza inkosi yakhe
wena uhamba lobani
candidates ama-candidates akhona uthatha
no all those guys are fake.
Bahlali sayidedla indawo kuthiwa bafake izizwele
zambiza
podcast yabantu
president
yes
izizwele twafake hey
u-Arnold what years so the Thomas throne ngathi manje kunama-allegations busy uyathuselwa yes but sizobuye ngoba lo ezangathi ethuselwa futhi la sethethiswa ngabantu sizobuya
ngobezikavila abantu abekhuluma indaba
selicala
uthuka njani umuntu abe uzumbuzo omnyokinto
into ekhulunywa ngolonto ukuthi abantu bakithi I think siyehluleka ukuthi sidiscuss izinto openly disagree without attacking
or using emotions the person to say why can't I listen to what Mxolisi is saying and argue ngakuchilo without arguing uma kumuntu apha kuma kubora yiproblem esilayo
sesiphikisane kakhulu la londo Facebook siphikisane kodwa mfowethu at the end of the day
nasavumelana
kodwa ayibahali siyabonga angeke siphele kodwa siyabantu sikhulume lapha eqaliseni laphana ngaphansi kule button usubscribe ngokuthi nxa kuvela into thizeni uthi ngqi uvele upress ibhela lelana senzela ukuthi kusasa ungathi wena kanti ngaphi episode why ngingantshela ukuthi so ngoba basazoba baningi ngeke sikwazi ukulitshela sonke silithumela amalink uyishare futhi link le podcast yethu ngiyakho ngiyethu sonke singumphakathi siyabonga kakhulu siyakuthanda namhlanje goodbye.